welcome back to the channel. I'm talking over the engine right now. It's running good. Some electrical issues with the bike. There was a lot of corrosion, and now the check engine light is off. Let me turn this off so you can hear me. So this bike was left outside for who knows how many years. From the previous video, you guys saw me kind of diagnose the issues, getting it running. As I test drove it on the last video, just right down the street, it was just one block away, I noticed the FI light, fuel injection or check engine light, was still on, and the code was coming up as C22 still. So in the previous diagnosis, I kept going at the map sensor on the airbox, which is kind of hidden under the tank now. But that is not the C22 fault code. I did a quick Google search for C22 fault code and I was coming up with the TL1000R forums, and there was a list of fault codes. I briefly looked through them. I looked through them too quick, and I saw C22 atmospheric pressure sensor. Not processing atmospheric pressure sensor as the actual map sensor. I assumed it was the map sensor, but I don't know what the hell I was thinking. But anyway, C22 fault code is the atmospheric pressure sensor, not the map sensor pressure sensor, or map, I should say. So manifold absolute pressure versus atmospheric pressure sensor. So it's been a while since I worked on one of these bikes, and I completely forgot Suzuki puts their atmospheric pressure sensor underneath the headlight on the fairing stay bracket. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's the headlight, and there is the atmospheric pressure sensor, also known as barometric pressure sensor. So this was completely unplugged. I didn't even notice the plug. It was all tucked in there, and that was triggering the fuel injection light. It just kept staying on with that fault code because obviously it wasn't plugged in. And I was also having injector issues. It wasn't really firing, so all these connectors were literally corroded. So I took the main harness here, disconnected all of them, cleaned out, sprayed some corrosion cleaner in the connectors, cleaned them out, and then plugged them back in. I also did the same thing with the fuel injector harness, and then they ended up working. So, unfortunately, when the bikes sit outside, bad things happen. Also, the gas cap lock corroded, and I had to break it to get it out. So I have a whole new lock set coming. This is just a quick video to show you what's going on and what I found with the actual inspection, because as of right now, I'm just ordering parts for it. On the previous video, I did tell you guys to make sure if you're buying a used bike, go around it, walk around it, because you can't trust the sellers. They're going to tell you whatever you want to hear to sell the bike. So on this particular one, I did not ride it home. I trailered it, obviously, because it was non-running. But I did after getting it running, I took it down a block away just to make sure it shifted, came back, and then I did my walk around. I pretty much just went around the bike looking for loose bolts, any loose connectors, and that's where I found the barometric pressure sensor disconnected, or atmospheric pressure sensor, same thing. And they tuck it underneath the headlight. I completely forgot they put it there, so I wasn't looking. Usually they put them right on the airbox, like the map sensor is. So what I found on my walk around is essentially loose fork bolts. 1, 2, and 3, 4. These were literally loose. I can unscrew them with my hand. So those have been tightened. The axle is tight. Surprisingly, they did tighten the axle. The pretty much wheel fender, all the bolts were loose there. Both caliper bolts were loose. This particular one, if you look at the previous video, it was missing, and I did not notice it because I did my walk around after the fact. So I went to the hardware store and got 2 M10 by 1.25 millimeter bolts at 1 inch long or 25 millimeters long, and put those in there to secure them. The other side, they were loose as well. You can hand and loosen them. I tightened those down. Another, just kept looking for inspection. I did see that there was mostly water in the reservoir, so I haven't drained that yet to top it off with actual coolant, 50/50. I went through pretty much all the subframe bolts, frame bolts, to make sure they were actually tight. Rear caliper bolts, they were tight, but what wasn't tight was the actual rear axle nut. That was literally loose. I could spin it off with my hand. Upon further inspection, as I was tightening up, it's obviously missing the cotter pin, so I gotta get a cotter pin for it too. But the chain is toast. It's they're sitting outside, exposed to the elements. It's not only rusted, but it is kind of frozen. Some of the links in there are wedged, but the rest of it is pretty good. There was no other loose bolts or anything that I found, so it is ready to go. When I was riding it down the street, the clutch doesn't feel very good. So my guess is the clutch is probably worn, because there's barely any lever play. So when you push the clutch in, it does go in gear, but I mean, literally the second you let it go or release it just a little bit, maybe 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch, it wants to move. So there's something going on in there. So I'll pull that clutch out on the next video and assess what I need. Most likely I'll just buy the damn clutch packs. They're not too expensive, but it doesn't feel right. It wants to release pretty quickly. So as far as parts ordered, I did order a new upper stay bracket because this one is cracked. I ordered the mirrors that are missing, reusing all the plastics. They are OEM plastics, and they were just freshly painted blue. Blue is my favorite color, so I do like the blue. It was originally a yellow bike, just like most of them were. I did order a rear seat because the original one is just destroyed. I could not source an airbox. All I have is partial. I'm missing all the hardware. I may just the hardest part to find is the actual what the heck are they called? The velocity stacks. There we go. So there was nobody really selling the velocity stacks because the velocity stacks get held on. They screw into the box, which screws into the throttle bodies, and nobody has them. Air filter is missing, so I could salvage this one. I just got to spend probably a fortune just in hardware to install it because it's missing all the hardware. So I'll probably go that route, just to salvage it because I can't find a complete air box. They're on eBay, but people are asking $100 plus for a damn airbox. It's ridiculous. What else did I order? I did order a lock set. So I have a key, a gas cap, and a new lock coming, seat lock, because I did snap this one opening it because it was frozen. So they're aftermarket, they were cheap. I just bought the whole set, no big deal. And I think I don't think I have anything really major coming. Chain, lock set, upper fairing stay, rear seat, and then clutch we'll worry about later on the next video. And I think that's about it. So we'll, and then once those parts come in, then I'll start installing them. I'll get the oil and filter changed once I figure out the clutch issue. I hope the basket's not bad, because you know this bike is 20 plus years old, so it's getting a little harder to find parts. And then I still have to go pick up, I found locally the little mirror support cage and the steering stabilizer. I found those locally. I just got to go pick them up this Saturday. That's about all the parts I could find locally for them, because they, you know, obviously they're getting harder to find. And that's it. We'll see you on the next video when we start tearing into this clutch, and we'll start putting on some parts that arrive. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe for more videos, because I have a lot more projects coming. Thanks, guys.